Today I want to introduce you to the Rollbot, the answer to all your measuring needs in the house, in the shop, and all around. Let's look at the controls on the Rollbot. The first button is the power button shown here. This is also actually one of our function buttons as well. This button is the mode or unit button, and we'll show you how that works too. This button in the middle helps us start our measurements. And you'll notice there's a depression on the back where the battery cover is that holds the location of one of your fingers. And the second finger goes onto the measurement button at the center, and when you depress that, that starts the measurement process. The outer band on the Rollbot moves independently from the center piece. This allows it to roll and create the measurement. There's also a scribe feature so that you can follow along and indicate where you've made your measurement. Now let's see the Rollbot in action. To take a linear measurement, you first bring the Rollbot up and turn on the power button so that it reads 0 and you're ready to go. Now we're going to use our two-fingered grip, which is on one finger, your thumb usually, on the front measurement button, and then your first finger on the back. Line the arrow up with the edge of the board, pressing the front button, and we simply roll to the edge of the board, stopping with the arrow on the edge of the board on the other end. Let's take a look at our measurement once we release our finger, and there we go. That's our linear distance in inches across the board. But wait, you say I don't work in decimal inches. No problem. By simply using the mode button again, you press and hold, and the measurement changes to fractional inches. Or press again, and you can work in meters. Simple enough, and again, back to decimal inches, one long push. How about measuring surface area? With our Rollbot set to our fractional inches, we go ahead and click this once, and you can see in the top left corner there that it's reading the surface area. And you'll also notice a little L1 there. That means that we're going to take our first dimension, that's going to be the length, and when we release our finger off of the measurement button here, that'll be ready for the second measurement. So let's take a look. Again, lining it up right on the edge, pressing down and rolling to the side. We run to the edge, release the button, and then we're ready for our second measurement, which is going to be across the board this way. Line up, press, make the roll, and there's our dimension. The top measurement is actually the square footage of that space. That's 132.1 inches. It only reads in decimals for the second measurement. Now, you may have noticed that when I ran across the edge here, I rolled off the edge of the board a little bit. But that's okay, because if we switch back to our lineal dimension here, and if we press our button again, front and back, you'll see that it measures in both directions. So running off a little bit, as long as you keep the rolling edge on the board, you can come back to where you needed to, let off, and there's your measurement. Pretty slick. Board feet, got you covered. One measurement there, that's our surface measurement. We can clear that while we're wandering through. Hit it again, and you'll see that box up in the corner turns into a true box. That means it's going to give us 3 dimensions. So we'll do length, width, and then thickness of the board. You see we have 2 dimensions there, the L2 on the corner. All right, let's go for 3. On our edge, press, roll, release, and there's our board footage. Nicely done. You can also measure cylinders. Let's say this paint can is a tree limb or perhaps a turning blank, and we want to know what the diameter of that particular limb is. So we take our Rollbot, we've got it set for inches now, but we go to the mode setting. We walk through these, and there's our cylinder setting, so we're going to use it there. And similarly to all of our dimensions, we want to reference from that arrow at the bottom. So we go to our can or our tree limb, find the measurement there, press the button, and let's roll that tree limb. And notice I'm going backwards. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you do this every now and then, as long as you stop and start at the same location. And let's take a look at our gauge, our Rollbot. The bottom dimension is actually our diameter of the tree limb, or the can in this case, and the top is actually the surface area of that cross section. Nice to have both of those done in one reading. Every now and again, we need to measure into a corner, such as the corner of this. If we need to find the size of this shelf, we need to be able to measure into this corner. And of course, when you're working with a disc, that's going to set some problems because you're working from this point at the bottom. So what we're going to do is press our setting button here, hold it in, and you see the mark here in the corner? That shows our disc into one corner, and that's great. And you'll notice the offset there, 1.18. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and switch this to fractions. There you go. It's an 1 3/16 offset, which is the dimension from here to here around the corner. Now, we can come back over here. Once we're ready, we can measure into the corner. And with that 1 3/16 offset already in place, we can find out that our distance is 8 3/4 inches. Perfect. But what if we have 2 corners to measure in between? Aha! We have a setting for that too. We go to our setting button, hold it in for a few seconds, and our secondary piece, or secondary corner, shows up. And again, I'm going to switch this to fractions. And you'll see that our offset is now 2 3/8. That's to accommodate for both corners. Now we simply go off to the bookshelf and measure again. And in this case, I'll start over here, push it into the corner, press the button, come back, and I can roll my hand a little bit, release, 32 and 15/30, and that's allowing for the curve of our disc in each corner. Cool. The Rollbot, the answer to all your measuring needs. Priced under $20, this is a great gift idea. Order your Rollbot today from chipsfly.com.